For a third day, diplomats worked frantically to get a resolution for a ceasefire on Syria. Ambassador, have you got an agreement with the Russians now?
Today we're going to see if Russia has a conscience.
The Russian ambassador conferred with his Syrian counterpart, whose government has continued without respite the bombardment of Eastern Ghouta, even as the negotiations dragged on. Diplomats have been working around the clock, exhausted, frustrated, and in some cases angry. Most of the discussions focusing on the exact wording of one paragraph. In the end, they agreed to replace an immediate ceasefire with one that comes into force without delay. It meant they could vote. It was unanimous, but there didn't seem to be much unity in the chamber.
Every minute the Council waited on Russia, the human suffering grew. Getting to a vote became a moral responsibility for everyone, but not for Russia, not for Syria, not for Iran. I have to ask, why? As they dragged out the negotiation, the bombs from Assad's fighter jets continued to fall. In the 3 days it took us to adopt this resolution, how many mothers lost their kids to the bombing and the shelling?
Why we negotiated so long on that resolution, that we wanted to make sure that it is not used as a pretext for any military action. Because we heard some troublesome, worrying comments on that in recent days, and including today. Some of them very bellicose.
These negotiations were extremely hard. Getting a ceasefire across Syria will be even harder. Can they get a stop to the bombardment in Eastern Ghouta? There is an exemption in the resolution allowing continued military action against al-Qaeda, al-Nusra and ISIL, and some diplomats fear that the Syrian government will assert that those fighting in Eastern Ghouta have links with those groups. James Bays, Al Jazeera at the United Nations.